Welcome to the Angler Talk Podcast with Chris and Aaron. Brought to you by FishingMagicianTV.com.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Chris back again with another weekly episode of Angler Talk. And man, do I have a special guest this week. We got Mark, Kid Cocheise, the con man, the crazy man on YouTube. And it was a lot of fun talking to Mark. But before we get into that segment, we're going to talk about some fishing. Eric Kerber, once again, still posting pictures about the mahi fishing. It's off the charts here in Jersey, man. Yes, you can catch mahi in Jersey. You just got to get out there, bend the rod, catching them on SP minnows and jigs and Ronzi jigs and stuff like that. It's absolute fun. If you have not caught a mahi, Kerber offers, he's the only one that actually offers full-blown mahi trips. And sometimes you get lucky and get the albacore and the bonito in there. And you might see a yellowfin or two just come up, but he's absolutely slaying it. He posted some pictures yesterday or today of some yellowfin tuna being caught. And he's doing his thing for sure, man. Captain Pastorino, you know, the fishmonger, the one and only, still out there killing it every day, putting his customers on the absolute best fishing possible. You know, big fluke coming up, and everybody's going home with limits and table fare for sure. Johnny Bucktails, I'm still watching the TikToks. He's still doing his thing with the flounder fishing, and striped bass still doing his thing. So I hope you guys get out there and take advantage of some of this info, and you know, try to book some charters with some of these guys. I mean, these guys do a great job. They stop at nothing to put their customers on the absolute best fishing. So take advantage of that for sure. Hit them up. So I hope you guys like this little segment that I did with Mark, the con man, the Kid Cocheise. And then guys, enjoy. Here I am with Mark Carry, known as Kid Cocheise. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's happening there, Chris? Glad to be here, pal. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've met you through Tony, you know, a mutual friend of ours. You know, makes those killer spoons, the Tony Maja products, and I've been watching your videos for a couple years now, man. And I like what you're doing. You know, first off, I want to say thanks for your service on the force. 28 years law enforcement. That's an amazing journey in itself.
Yeah, it was interesting. It worked for me. It was a good calling for me.
Yeah,
I worked in the city and out here in the county, so it was good. It was a good.
Yeah, I mean, man, you know, working the beat in you know, or patrolling in Brooklyn in the '90s, that's got to be rough.
It was even worse in the '80s. 1984, I went on 85 crack at the street, and things got sideways pretty quickly.
Man, that's crazy.
It was interesting times back then, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was born in '88. I'm still a young buck, but you know, I've heard, you know, the streets of Brooklyn were pretty tough back in those days.
It was insane would be the word. It was just completely out of control.
I hear you, man. Now, you know, you're retired. You get to relax a little bit, and you do this little thing that we love called fishing. How'd you get into that?
Fishing all my life. I got a picture of me when I'm this big fishing. I've been fishing all my life. Work got in the way of that, and after, you know, I've been doing videos forever. You know, if anybody knows me here, I've been doing videos forever. But fishing's always been a passion of mine. It's always kind of leveled me out. You know, when you work in the police thing, and then you can always go back and just kind of retreat to fishing. It kind of clears your head pretty quickly. Get to hang out with like-minded people and have fun. You know, so.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you can be having the most stressful day, no matter what it is that your job is. And the moment you hit that water, it doesn't matter if you catch anything or not. It's a sense of tranquility that not many other people understand. But when they get the chance to do it, they start to realize, okay, now I realize why you start going fishing. You know, it's not always about catching the fish. It's to find your mind sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's so many different nuances about fishing. You can just be on the boat and see something that you've never seen and somebody's never seen, you know?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You bring your attention to the person you with and they check that thing out. It's just nature's right in your face. You're out there in the middle of it. And like you say, you don't exactly have to catch fish, but you can see things that, you know, God offers to everybody out there. So it's pretty cool. And again, fishing is nice. Catching fish, that's what we try to do. And I am almost obsessed about it, but I get it that it's not always about catching fish. It's always about hanging out with the guys and kids, my family, my wife, just at least having a laugh or two. And then obviously we do take fishing seriously. We want to fish. and you'll see that anybody that fishes with me say that guy's completely out of control, but
Yeah.
fish and we have fun doing it. So it's a give and take.
But I think that's why you have such a big audience on YouTube. I mean, for instance, the first time I saw one of your videos was with Anthony Tony Maja, and first off, we all know you're serious about catching fish because you're using the best products out there. You know what I'm saying? So. When you throw on a bunker spoon, you're not looking to catch a rat. You're looking for those big girls. And how did you and Tony hook up, and how's that relationship been for you?
Oh, he's a complete madman. I hooked up initially with his dad, believe it or not, when I was doing the videos. Tony Sr., great guy. I just got a kick out of him. He reminded me of the guy was always tan. Because I always put him in my videos. Whoever that guy is, people who watch this are going to know who it is. Robert? It's not Rob. I forget who it is, but I met up with him back in the day. He was not into social media, didn't know the power of social media,
Yeah.
when it comes to marketing and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
He's an old school guy. He's the guy who, who's making stop signs into bunker spoons. And then we did a show one day, and then ultimately I hooked up with Junior. I call him Maj, Anthony Maj Jr. But and then I hooked up with him at, been moving, trying to sell his products with him because, like you say, when you go fishing, I'm not a guy, and perfect example is with police work. You carry a gun on your hip. Your gun is your life. You better get a gun to work and you trust. That's why police departments spend forever researching weapons, which one that's going to work,
Yeah.
It comes down, and I've lived through that mantra my whole life. Bunker spoon. It's the Maja bunker spoon. You can't, you see other bunker spoon breaking, bending, stuff like that. You know Maja stuff. You could
Absolutely.
That thing, and it is the most deadly bunker spoon out there, as far as I'm concerned. And again, this is my opinion, but I fish it religiously, and I'm whacking fish like gangbusters and monstrous fish,
And to touch on what you said, the bunker spoon, kind of giving the referral to the gun. It's like if that gun jams and you're in a tough spot, you're screwed. I don't want to be fishing a bunker spoon and the keel is falling off. It's not fishing right. And Tony makes a phenomenal product. I love the bunker spoons, but my absolute favorite Maja product is the Castaway jigs. I love those little things, man. Those things, they kick ass. No matter whether you're on the boat trolling or if you're jigging off the surf, those things are phenomenal, and they catch plenty of fish. And there's one thing I'm trying to get the Florida crowd to notice. Tony makes a spoon that I'm pretty sure it's a fact that is the only one that can handle the speed to troll for wahoo. And that is something that I definitely want to do down there in Florida. And, it is possible to catch a wahoo in Jersey, but, it's not as common as it would be in Florida. And I think something like the bunker spoon down there would absolutely crush it.
So he constantly, it's funny you say that, Chris. He constantly says, I'm going down to Florida Monday. He's like, you got spoons, you got to do spoons out there. I'm like, wow, I'm learning the fishery. I'm going to start winging freaking macho spoons out there. And I know you're right because you work these shallow reefs and you're going to be pulling gear through it like bunker spoons, especially the small number twos and stuff like that. It's getting whacked. Done it once already, and it got whacked, and I lost a fish. But I was on somebody else's boat, and I don't have much latitude on other people's boat when I start to push myself. Let's do this, let's do that. I'm like, I'm just That's why I always have anxiety attacks when I'm on somebody else's boat, and I'm like, I'm like, God, do this. But Maja's always saying, bring that stuff down to Florida. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I agree with him. I definitely agree with him. But like you said, these little guys here, this is one of the most deadly things that we used this spring. Was this, and that was trolling Long Island Sound, and we were throwing these on the back of umbrella rigs. I mean, biggest. Every fish over 40, everything was just tremendous, and it was just crazy deadly. It was outfishing everything, and it just, like you said, you could throw these, cast them anywhere, and have a ball with them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My favorite place to use those is actually at night underneath the Highlands Bridge over there in Sandy Hook Bay into the entrance of the Navasink River, man. There's a lot of stripers that stack up over there, and I don't care if I'm spot burning, but hey, man, if you're a kid and you want to bend the rod and your parents let you stay out, a little bit later, get out there at night underneath that bridge and cast a few of those and jig them off the bottom and see how many stripers you go catch. For sure. That thing is deadly. I love the black one. That's my personal favorite.
Especially at night, right? That shadow.
Yeah.
That's exactly, and that's the typical thing with Maj, light days, light gear, and then dark days. So use that shit.
Yeah, you got to match the hatch.
Yeah, exactly. but they're built well. You know what I'm saying? It's like you say, anything with the Maja stuff. And when you're bringing that stuff up, Maja and I, we're going over these spoons. Again, this is his baby here. But
Yes.
these drift spoons, I mean, the gear, and we've talked about this well before this stuff came out. We were brainstorming, what do you got to do? I'm like, hey, bro, everybody else has got spoons that are bending and they're losing gear and they're changing split rings. I go, you can't do, you know, people don't want to do that. They don't want to open packages up and start changing split rings and hooks and stuff like that.
Yep.
These hooks, again, I don't know if Marsh told you about the wet bandito over there catching the yellowfin on it, you know.
Yeah, I saw that TikTok video.
Just in the video I just did, or 2 videos ago with the wet bandito guys. But they caught yellowfin tuna with this thing. So it goes to show you that the terminal tackle, the barrels, and all the other stuff are the right stuff. And that's the Masha thing. I guess that's something that senior and junior want to make sure that this stuff is not just coming out off the press really quick and you're putting crap out there. They want to make sure that stuff is going to have the Masha stamp on it. So we discussed that for a long time. And it was like, again, junior had, this was his baby, he wanted to do it right. And I kind of said, hey, do this right. You know, this is the Masha brand. Your father's going to kick your beans in if you don't do it right. So I think he really did a good job. And have you fished these Flutter spoons yet?
When he first gave them to me, the first thing I did was I took it out the package and I went like this. And the little bastard would not bend. But I did get something special this past week. I did get the Kid Cocheise special edition Flutter spoon, you know, the chartreuse one. Yeah, I can't wait to use that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take that out to the mud hole and have some fun with some mahi on that.
Yes, I've lost them, and it's strictly because I've been in vicious bluefish bites mixed in with bass, big blue. And what they're doing, I think that the bluefish, you know how they want to always a bluefish wants to do the old sabotage, the rudder of the fish, and these things fall so screwed up that they're hitting, like 2 are hitting, and one's hitting the head, one's hitting the bottom. And it just I snapped them off. And, you know, so you got to be aware when you're in mixed company with bluefish and striped bass that you have a shot at getting a bluefish wrapping that thing's head and just snapping you off. So.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, just talking to you right now, I just decided off the whim to let out a really big secret. Over the past year and a half, I've been in doing a lot of R&D on something, and I think we just figured out the absolute perfect tool to match up with those spoons. I produced a rod called the Magician. It's the only one on the market that is 100% carbon. It's a 7-foot fast action rod, Fuji Reel C, Fuji guides, and this thing I have lifted a 20 and a 50-pound dumbbell with it. I made a video about it and everything. It's on the Facebook page. I think that paired with that Flutter spoon is going to make some killer moves for the next couple of weeks of what's going on. You know, and we're all getting excited. You know, that fall run is about to start happening in probably another month or so.
Yep.
And I can't wait to get out there and test these things for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna be deadly. And again, even in the fall run, I was throwing these a lot in the ocean.
Oh yeah.
These are just deadly as well. You know, it's, you know, striped bass, they're just gonna, especially when they're feeding in schools, they're just gonna kick the crap out of anything. But
one of the things that I love using that on, and a lot of people look at me, they're like, "Really? You're gonna use something that big?" I do fluke fishing with it.
Yeah.
I do a chicken rig, you know, 1/8 of an ounce jig, and then I put the 2-ounce castaway on the bottom.
I got you.
Drop it down to the bottom, crank one time, and just jig it on that drift. You know, I like to have my drift between 1.5 to 2.2. Yeah. And man, that thing gets whacked more than anything.
Yeah, it basically is a bucktail on steroids, really.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is, man. All right, so we keep talking about Tony's products, and honestly, we can talk for weeks about Tony's products and the great stuff that he does. But I want to talk about the con man. You know, so how is it up there fishing on Long Island? You know, we talked a little bit before we actually started recording, and you know that is one of the best fishing destinations on the East Coast. I mean, you guys got the fishing haven of Montauk, but you know there's other shores around there that just produces great fish. A few weeks ago we had the LI Sharkman out here. You know, you guys are getting some humongous sharks out there, you know, but like what are some of the things that people can catch in your waters in your hometown?
Well LI Sharkman, my son's got the Suffolk Sharkman, that's his crew, and they caught, I think they said 300 shark this year. I mean, the sharking is off the charts off the beaches. It's just, of course, that has a lot to do with all that bunker pushed into the beaches, you know, chasing bait, but obviously. But now I want the, you have the fork and Long Island's a fork, right? I live on the North Fork. You have the South Fork, which is Montauk and stuff like that, and up here is Orient Point. Two sick fisheries, killer fisheries. But the body of water between Connecticut and myself is the Long Island Sound. Excellent blackfishing. We used to have a sick fishery for fluke, but it's just for some reason, my theory is, and it's only my theory, they'll probably yell at me, is that I don't think our bait now is coming around as much, and these fluke are following it.
Yeah.
Those that bait keeps staying offshore because that's where the tuna fishery's been really good. And so right now we're going in. As a matter of fact, right before the podcast, I'm installing the bases. I have the Everglades 295, so I'm installing the base for the Rodan motor right now.
Oh, nice.
Blackfishing. So we're going to do a lot of bottom fishing this year, which is one of my favorite. I think tuna's up there with blackfish now as far as fun for me to fish. But now this Rodan is going to really our fishery for blackfish. I think it rivals everybody's. It's that our fish because obviously we're glacier built here. The Long Island Sound is filled with rubble and stones and stuff like that. It's just a killer environment for those blackfish. So we have a blackfish fishery. Our bass fishery this year is excellent. And a lot of stuff we were doing with dragging big spoons with Maja spoons, dragging these little guys on the umbrella rigs, which were whack, and we just and porkies. You can literally go out there blind and catch the porky you want. So it's a good fish. Again, it just takes me a little bit to go to the South Shore. We drag the boat down there, and we drop it in a 5-round inlet, and we run out and then we chase the tuna. So we've been doing well with that. We're catching giants. I don't know if you saw our episode with the giants we just did. So we're doing that. We're probably gonna go out Thursday, run offshore again. So.
Yeah, I totally get it though, man. Just to touch back on what you did about tog. I mean, tog is one of those fisheries that if you're in the Northeast, anywhere between Maine to Maryland, it's one of those fisheries that it's very frustrating, especially for a beginner. I mean, I remember when I first started togging, I was pissed. I mean, I lost like 60 sinkers.
If you want to play with one of these, it gets more frustrating.
Yeah. I've tried it a few times. Big shout out to Ed over at Toggy Time Jig sending me a nice pack of those. But I always stay consistent with the snafu rig. But you're gonna lose a lot. You're gonna lose a lot of gear. Fishing for these fish because they live in pure structure, whether it be rebar, sunken boats, rocks, whatever. They're so fast. But when you catch that double-digit tog, like I did, I caught my first ever, my one and only double-digit tog with I'm sure Captain Jerry Pastorino on the Fishmonger.
Okay.
Right before I went to Florida, I got my first double-digit, and there is. Pound for pound, I think that there's very few fish out there that can compete. I mean, I've got a grouper. I mean, it wasn't a huge grouper by any means, but it's 28 pounds. And let me tell you something. That blackfish will make it look silly.
It is. It's and people say they're beautiful fish. I think they're ugly fish.
Yeah, they really are.
People say, "Oh, this is a beautiful fish." It's really not. It's not. It's got a face for radio. The thing.
Yeah.
But pound for pound, the freaking thing, like you say, it fights. Like if it got any bigger than it did, like I've caught fish over 10 pounds. They're ridiculous, especially when you catch them on this jig. I mean, the jig you were talking about, but this is obviously my sponsor, Tidal Tails. He makes the sickest jigs out there. But you really have to have a head for it. It's not, you just can't jig fish. People get so frustrated when they see me on the boat catching fish and then they're not doing it. And they just, it's once you get it, you tell them, once you get it, you got it. But you got to learn, you're not setting hooks on things. You lift them up. You'll see. I just did a video. Yesterday came out yesterday, and it shows underwater footage of as the blackfish jig drops down to the sea floor, multiple fish are whacking at it. So those instincts, they just felt the tap and just start winging. What are they doing? They're hitting the guy a foot above it and foul hooking it. So you got to be able to wait, and you got to lift and feel. Once you feel the weight, you say hello to it, as I always say. So that right there. But so many people now have become. I wouldn't say excellent at it, but better at it after fishing and learning how to differentiate the
I agree, man. Jigging for tog is like the new, the past couple of years been the new big thing. I still haven't got it down. I've probably jigged for tog like twice, but I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't have the right gear. I was using a fishing rod that wasn't fast action. You got to have something fast action to be able to pull that fish out of that structure really, really quick. And at that time, I didn't have that. And you know, a lot of these guys that are jigging for Tog are the ones that you're consistently seeing bring up the double digits more and more, as opposed to, you know, the actual bait rigs and stuff like that.
You ever hear
So
my boys, the Big Nuts boys, the Curly?
yeah, I have heard of them. Big nuts required.
Yeah, the Curly boys.
Yeah.
Jeff, they're excellent, excellent guys. I love, you know, it's funny with my channel is I have a lot of love for some reason in Jersey. And I love Jersey, you know, the Jersey thing.
Jersey loves the con man.
Yeah, I love the Jersey guys. I went to the Jersey show. It was like, it was really humbling. It was very nice. But the Curly boys over in Jersey, we went out for a dog trip with them, and those guys put a clinic on.
Definitely, man.
They're just excellent. They're great guys, humble guys, but really good jig fishermen and fishermen and outright fishermen. You know.
I hear you. Now I see every once in a while on your channel you taking out groups. You do 6-pack charters?
I do. I'm licensed to do them, but I don't do them often. I'm not. I have the book here, but more so I'm taking out people. Like I have notes here on my desk of con men I got to take out. Just people.
Yeah.
I've asked me for years. I'm just like, let me get you out. You know, I try to fit them in when I can get them in. Like, only all right, now today I give them a day note. All right, tomorrow's the day. The guy's coming from Manhattan or Massachusetts. Yeah, get to the, you know, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, it's a totally different ball game when you're actually doing it for a living. I mean, you're retired, a police officer. You don't have to, but you do it because you love it. And you know, what I like about what you're doing is you're just taking people out who have been watching you, been supporting you, and you're showing them a great day, which is freaking awesome, you know. And
it's better. I'm doing it on the arm as well. I do it for nothing. You just take them out because I really appreciate the audience that I have. You know what I'm saying? And it's not pompous, but I just think they're the best people out there. I really do. They're really. I mean, if somebody would say something bad, like if it would be one bad comment, you would have 17 guys.
Yeah.
They're just like want to kill you. I go, bro, relax.
I'm not gonna lie, man. There's times where I have put a bag of popcorn in the microwave and just sit there and read your comments. I mean, the shit's hilarious. It's freaking priceless.
I try to be different. I mean, I just try to do things differently. I try to get a little what I've learned through the years. You know, like I said, we commercial fish back in the day. I've been fishing my whole life, running boats and stuff like that. And I try to make it funny and hey, you know, that makes a good point, and people learn from what and they can take it or leave it. You know, learn something if I teach them. If not, I'm not offended. I'm not hurt that you didn't learn something. You know, it's if I screwed up trying to show you how to do it.
Absolutely, man. I agree. And you know, I think why you have the audience that you have, you know, people like me who I watch YouTube more than I watch regular TV. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm tired of watching the same crap on TV, rerun after rerun after rerun. But the thing is, now you see YouTubers who are just trying to do this as their entire career. You know, and I get it. YouTube pays you some very, very good advertising money. But like when you start scripting stuff, is what I kind of get flung off about. Like I could watch National Geographic or Discovery Channel for that. What I love about watching your channel is you never know what you're gonna get, you know. And I think that's why I wanted to get you on here. You know, we talked a little bit. You're like, I'm a little crazy, bro. I'm like, I'm okay with that. I like crazy because I'm crazy too.
That's what it is. I get comments, bro. You have it from start to finish. You know, they don't know what the next second I'm gonna be firing stuff off and just stupid stuff. I sit here and as I edit, it takes me forever to edit my episode. I just start laughing, and my wife's like, "What is movie?" I just because I'm laughing, making myself like, "Oh, this is happy." Just
exactly. But, yeah, you do really good work with the editing. One of my favorite things that you do with the edit, and I still bust Tony's balls about it every once in a while. He said Thresher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said Thresher. You know. But definitely, man. What kind of boat are you running? I heard you say you got an Everglades boat.
Yeah, on a 30-foot Everglades twin 300 Yamahas.
Oh man, that thing is moving. How do you like it? I mean, I've been on an Everglades boat one, and the thing rides really, really nice, kind of like a cloud.
It's unbelievable. I've owned so many boats in my life, and this is by far the sickest boat to run. I run in the ocean, you run everybody just like. This is the biggest bully out there.
Nice.
Really, it's a great boat. The way they design it with this ram cap thing that they do, it's just nothing else like it because the way they make it. It's just a cool boat. I mean, it costs you $1 million. The damn thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, these Florida companies, man, they got it. They're doing a really good job because you know in Florida, everybody has a boat. A boat in Florida is like a Honda Civic up here.
No
Everybody's got one, and these guys they do all the R&D, and they do a really really great job. But there is something I want to ask you. So it's like, if you call me and say, "Hey, Chris, you get up to Long Island today?" I said, "All right, cool." And I said, "What do you want to fish for? What is your favorite thing to target?" I'm pretty sure I know the answer. It's either one or two species.
It's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds so pompous that, oh, striped bass. I got them. I catch striped bass. It's not a challenge for me to get striped bass. But you'll appreciate this as well with Tog. You don't know what that next bite's going to be. Is that going to be 15, 20, 15, 20? You have no freaking idea what it's going to be. That right alone is like, guys, we can get the one today. You know what I'm saying? A double digit is a fish of a life. But you can even get north of it. Had 15 pounder on my boat. The thing looked like it was like, what the heck?
Like a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. The things are old as heck. I mean, a 6-year-old fish. I mean, it's a keeper is probably 6 years old. The 16 is probably 8 years old. So now, dinosaurs are really old. The old big fish are really old. But
absolutely.
So it's a loaded question. The questions. I love fishing tuna. But blackfish is like you and I could be just sitting right there and BS and eating food and just banging out blackfish,
And then bang, you get that whack.
Yeah. And like I said, my boat, I can handle 8. I can fish 8 guys on this thing. It's like a head boat, the big son of console. And tuna fishing is like, I love it. It's such a challenge to me because I love being challenged. Is that when you go out tuna fishing now, you better have your act together. You better have a crew that has a clue what's happening.
Oh, definitely.
Big boy toys. You're in the ocean, 60, sometimes more than that, miles offshore, and things can go sideways like that. So it's not as so you as a captain, you're a little more on edge. You have a little more anxiety because you have to take care of your little ducklings.
Yeah, you got 6 people's lives in your hand.
Yeah. So lots of, and when fish go on, shit's people gaffing stuff, throwing darts and stuff like that. It's all big boy stuff. There's a lot less stress when you're taking a crew of guys out when you're out blackfishing, and you're whacking fish, and everybody's having the ball too. So I'm going to say blackfishing is my thing. I think it is because like I said before, it's that any day could be that next, any bite could be that next bite that's the one. And you're out. You next you see the guy next to you, like, whoa, and they see his rod's doing everything just stopped. Everybody's looking at it.
And as soon as you said that, you just reminded me of one guy, man. There's a guy that I fished with quite a few times on the Monger. His name is Curtis Berry. We all call him Papa Curtis. But I call him the silent assassin. For some reason, I always get the spot right next to Curtis. And I'm sitting there struggling, whacking up these little 16 to 20 inchers. And he's pulling up literally double digit after double digit. And he's just sitting there quiet, doesn't say nothing. People just see him, and the rod is bent, and Jerry just walks over there with the net and scoops up an 11 pounder like it's nothing. I mean, the guy just does it like it's easy work. Yeah. And I know, from my analytics, knowing that like 13% of my audience is in Australia, and they're sitting there listening to us talk right now. They're like, "What the hell is a blackfish?" I encourage you guys to look up on Google, what is a tautog? Tautog. That's the actual name of it. And it's an extremely ugly fish. Like Mark said, it does have a face for radio. It's got practically human teeth, but they eat crustaceans. They eat stuff like crabs and shrimp and mussel and clams. And it is definitely what it eats, because when I cook it and I put it in my mouth, it's like this savory deliciousness that you don't understand, and I get it in Australia. They got some awesome things, but when you eat a tog, you're going to look at me and you're going to be, okay, Chris was right. He wasn't lying about this. This is a good one for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And it's almost like that, that silly ass pumpkin beer thing when you have the season for pumpkin beer.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like that. You almost like that tog is like that. Eating tog at that time of the year in the fall is like, it's just the thing that you want to experience, you know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, the tog is just an awesome fish to eat upright, or you throw it in the clam chowder and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever
saw definitely, man. And what makes it so special when you catch those double digits is, tog only grow a half inch every 2 years. So when you catch a 10-pound tog, that's a 25-year-old fish. Well, maybe my math is extremely off. That's probably like a 40-year-old fish. And I personally like to let the big girl swim back, because I know how long it took that fish to grow. And, but it's definitely one of those fish that are just, on the bucket list, and, let it go when it comes back for sure. But I gotta ask you, what is your biggest Tog? What's your PB on that one?
Leaving that, it's only 10.6.
10.6. You got me beat. I'm at 10.1.
That's it. 10. That's it. But it's a club, you know. It's funny.
Yeah.
6 Togs.
I just scratched the surface to come in.
Hey, 10 to 10, bro.
Hell yeah, I'll take it any day of the week. What's your best bass?
48 pounds. I never crossed 50. I have a million 48s. I never got.
Yeah.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many 50s. I've been fishing since I was 6, and I gotta say that, I mean, over the past since 2017 till now is when I became like serious about fishing.
Right.
And I've been lucky enough to catch a 50 every year except for this year. I really haven't had the chance, with everything going on with work and life, I haven't had the chance to go out. But I've been blessed enough, and I actually caught it off the surf. My personal best bass is 57.6, and yeah, I'll never forget that one. I thought it was a freaking cow nose ray.
That's crazy. That's huge. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch small fish. I want to catch slot fish. Small 29-inch fish so we can eat them. Like we like eat it once or twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All year we'll just we're catching 40+ pounders.
These regulations is what really kills you. You catch a trophy, and even if it's a possible new world record, you're never going to be able to know because you can't take that fish in. You guys have a worse regulation than we do. We can at least keep a striper up to 38 here in Jersey. You guys are maxed at 35, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Less than 35. Yep.
Yeah.
We get beat up. I don't know what it is. But I don't know if I lobby somewhere, but we just always get the short end of the stick in New York.
Yeah, absolutely, man. These pencil pushers are they're trying to, ease the guys out like us, and they're just gonna do it with more and more laws, and it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I want to give you the opportunity to tell my audience at least where they can find you, and I'm definitely gonna put links in the description down below.
Yeah, if you want to, like I said, my stuff is different out there. I have, I have a unique following.
Yeah.
You can either Google Captain Mark Gary. It's Mark Gary Garry. I'll pop up that way, and you can use the word Kid Cocheise, which if I spell it, everybody's gonna screw it up because the reason I made that name was because I was a knock at the time. I didn't want anybody to know it was me posting videos, but I spelled the whole thing all wrong. So it's KIDCOCHIESE outdoors, and that you can find me that way. It's just a bunch of videos of just a bunch of maniac people. And,
yeah.
Maja being one of them, everyone just doing crazy stuff, trying to make things funny and trying to learn a couple of things. And I try to bring everybody along on our adventure. It's fun, and I get to meet such killer people like yourself. I mean, you just get to meet such cool people when I do. I'm blessed when it comes to that stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody that watches the show, and it's just good stuff. At least I have a fun time making it. It's a lot.
Absolutely, guys. And if you want to take my word for it, man, you will definitely be entertained. I'm entertained every time I see a Kid Cocheise notification pop up. I can't wait to get home from work and watch these videos. Definitely entertaining. But Mark, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk to us for a little bit. And I hope I get up to Long Island soon and we get some fishing together.
Get up here and do some Blackfish ones. We'll get you on the jig bite.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, so keep in touch.
Absolutely.
And thanks everybody out there for watching.
Thank you. Well, that was great talking to Mark, man. He is such a character. He's such a good dude. 28 years of service as a police officer. I know a lot of police officers in this country get a bad rap because, of course, you do got some bad apples that do some good stuff. But majority of police officers, they do a phenomenal job. And Mark, definitely helped protect the streets of New York as best as he could for 28 years. And I just want to salute you for that, my man. And thank you for sure. But, he's in our world now with the fishing. And let me tell you something. The Con Man puts out some pretty awesome content on YouTube. And definitely go check him out. I guarantee you will be as entertained as I am every time I turn on one of his videos. So, guys, for this week, I'm running out of time. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tight lines. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'm Chris, and I'm out. Take it easy.